now rocking with TDF everything. Spoiled Rotten.
Spoiler alert.
Welcome back, everybody.
Hey.
It's me, Daniel,
And this is Ben.
on Spoiled Rotten. And this is a big one, guys. We are here to talk about The Punisher, One Last Kill, with our good friend Andrew. Thank you very much for coming back. We did let you out of the dungeon after Daredevil, but we still lured you right back in.
I got to go home and shower. It was nice. But then you guys mentioned the Punisher, my second favorite character, and I was like, you guys know how to get me back.
That's
And
right.
So I'm back, totally. I hate to do this, guys, but he has been bugging me for the past 2 hours. I have somebody here that has something he'd like to pitch to you guys, if that's okay.
Yeah, let's hear it.
Hey, everybody, it's your old man again.
Oh, my goodness, yes.
Yes.
So, boys, I've really been thinking about the name of your show and the whole spoiled, rotten thing, and how I still don't like the negative connotations of that. So, I've been workshopping with I was going to say my team, but really it's the guys I play Call of Duty with. And we came up with some names, some ideas for new names for the show. If you guys be okay with me to pitch them to you.
I am happy to listen.
Let's hear it.
Okay, so this is the first one. Daniel and Ben tell you everything that happened in the show or movie they watched, like everything. How's that?
It's a bit too close to my first podcast name.
Can we abbreviate it to SHIELD?
Hey, maybe. I don't know. If we really, really work the words, maybe we could do it. Okay, how about this one? We watched it, and we're going to tell you about it. To the point, let you know what the show's about.
Okay, I kind of like this one.
Yeah,
All right.
that one's
All
got
right.
me. Yeah.
I'm going to think about this for a couple weeks.
Yeah.
Okay. And then this one I got here, the Daniel and Ben experience.
Oh, that's a good pitch.
I just feel like it's really setting us up for failure if people don't like the experience, and then they see us out in public and they're like, well, I already had the Daniel and Ben experience. And we're like, no, that was just an off day.
Okay. This is my last pitch, guys.
I mean, I'm a big fan of that because I'm just like, I don't like being recognized in public. So I hope that this is a better experience for them than my public experience.
Well, there you go. That's something right there. You know, you say aim low. That's good.
Oh,
Mr.
yeah,
just my last one. One. Gone with the Wind.
Okay, now this seems like we have something here.
Yeah.
Yeah, see, I don't think anybody's ever used that.
No one has ever used that title.
Yeah, that doesn't exist.
I
will say, it blows a little bit.
Oh, I like that. That's a win joke.
That is a win joke.
That is the Daniel and Ben experience.
There you go.
That's
that is the Daniel and Ben experience.
Daniel has more highbrow humor than that, for sure.
No, I'm just saying, guys, just sleep on some of these ideas, and I'll go talk to my Call of Duty guys, and we'll pitch. We'll come up with some more pitches. But I think we could get a good rebranding going here, because I don't like you guys being all like, oh, we're spoiled rotten. No, you're just telling people stuff. You're not making things rotten. You guys are really nice guys.
Now, I guess this means that you and your Call of Duty friends don't ever say like, hey, we've been spoiled rotten today. We got so many games in, and we had some good food.
No, we don't do that. We always want more.
Oh,
so
there's never enough wins.
Never
enough games.
We're givers. That's why we're spoiling people rotten. You know.
Okay, all right. I know you guys are trying to make it sound positive, but to me,
it just doesn't sound positive to you. This is important. This is actually a good insight into our listener base flatlining. I think it's because it just doesn't sound positive enough.
Yeah.
All right. Well, you guys think about it, and we'll reconvene.
Yeah.
I'll get a focus group together and maybe pitch around some ideas.
Now, before you go, are you going to talk to Andrew?
Oh, no, I'm not going to talk to him.
Oh, okay.
He,
well, you know what?
He doesn't like talking to me. He likes to pretend I'm not even here. You're like, I just hear air. What the hell is that?
Fair enough. I mean, we tried.
All right, I'll see you guys later.
See you.
See you later.
Son of a bitch.
God, I can't believe it. You even had a separate mic for him this time. He didn't even have to share the mic. You
really
thought about him.
Yeah, I did. And he's just... It's never enough with that guy.
You were holding up his list of things so that he didn't have to hold it himself. You were being really nice.
You could say I spoil that guy rotten.
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, he wouldn't like that, but
no, he wouldn't.
We would say it for sure.
There you go.
Yep. 2 guests. Awesome.
Yes, exactly. I mean, a lot to think about, truly. But I mean, not before. Now that we have that in our minds to think about, let's talk about the Punisher One Last Kill. More importantly, how did you two feel about it overall? Like, just some initial thoughts. Andrew, you can go first.
Well, actually, if Ben could go first.
Okay, Ben, please.
More than happy to. I was just like, wow, what a whole lot of action, and this is a nice little breather to be like, okay, cool. This is how he gets back in the game, in the Marvel side of things, and I kind of like that. It's just like you see where his motivations are going. It's violent as hell, and I like that. It's very John Wicky, and they had a lot of stuff going on here. I was a big fan of it, but yeah.
Okay, see, I still don't 100% know how I feel about this.
Okay.
It's something that I've been kind of stuck on. It kind of kicks me back to about like 2012. I think it was 2012 when the Adi Shankar fan film came out, Dirty Laundry. I don't know if you guys ever saw that. And
that's
so many people.
What's his name? Thomas Jane? I never.
Thomas Jane, yes. Yeah, Thomas Jane unofficially reprising his role as the Punisher.
Right.
At the time, I was like, this is a really well-made short and really interesting and compelling, but it just doesn't scream Punisher to me.
Mm-hmm.
And while this does have elements of Punisher, and I think John Bernthal is great as the Punisher, and I think the performances were good, I think the idea of the story is good and that the themes are really strong, I just don't know if that's what I wanted for my Punisher story. Like, I felt like we were retreading a lot of themes that we've already covered with the character. And you can still have that stuff there, but I wanted something a bit more concrete. Like, we have an entire, I know we're going to get into, we have an entire story about the death of the Nucci's, and we don't really get to see Punisher track down and kill the Nucci's. We get we get a news report and we get some flashbacks. And it just seems like we could still cover all the stuff that they wanted to talk about, but give it a little bit more of a tactile kind of man on a mission story. That's what I felt was missing.
Okay. This sets me up nicely, as, I mean, I do not care for the Netflix series, but that was a very clear instance of me recognizing early on, this is just not for me. This is not inherently bad. This must work for people who like the Punisher, and I know it does. It, like, people have talked very highly of it. It's just not for me. I think I want to qualify some things first. I don't care that it doesn't connect to anything. I don't care that certain people don't show up. That was never something I thought was going to happen anyway. I do actually think that this is the best format for the Punisher, a character I feel like, as I've said many times, you already know what his deal is. He doesn't really have room to move on from it. You kind of need him to stay in this, so a one-shot makes sense to me. That's or a movie, but like a TV show for me, it's like, we're going to be spending a long time on some guy just sticking to what he wants to do. So this felt like the right way to do it, and I just surrendered to the idea, like, okay, they're not interested in this being his continued story or even a prequel. They're just like, this is a story that will set him firmly in the MCU, even though we just saw him in Born Again and he's going to be in Brand New Day. But you separate those two things and you're just like, okay, this is their thing. I still don't really, like you, I was just like, oh, this doesn't feel like the best deployment of the Punisher, even when he's set up for success of this is just a one shot. I found it the other thing I have to qualify is the sound sucked on my TV, and I know it sucked on other people's TVs. Apparently,
the sound
you needed
was
to watch
terribly
it
mixed,
on your phone or on a tablet if you wanted good sound. And so a lot of time I'm like, I don't even know what the fuck these people are saying, and I can't, like, I'm already not that engaged, so like I can't hear what they're saying. And he doesn't really talk to anyone that's actually in the world. So I was just like, all right, I'm just gonna assume this works for Punisher fans again, and I'm gonna be on the outs because it's not for me.
Right, right. See, the other thing though, you brought up this is setting Punisher firmly in the MCU, but then they lean on certain parts of continuity and change completely different. Like they leaned on the fact like you got Curtis in it and stuff like that. But then they decided we're going to make it the Nucci family was also responsible for Frank Castle's family's death. And I'm like, stop doing that. Like the whole idea is the Punisher is just now killing all criminals because he will never get over the death of his family. The criminals don't have to be tied to the death of his family.
Yeah. I would agree with that. Okay, well, looks like we went from liked it to I'm not sure yet to not for me.
There you go. Run the gamut.
Yeah.
I will say that I think I liked it for a lot of the reasons that you described, was that we were not spending a full season with this character. This was heavily focused on the action, so it let me be like, okay, we're not really interested in digging deeper, which is on the point because, like I think you've really eloquently said before, the Punisher is just the way they're looking to tell it. He's just not compelling enough to be the protagonist of any story. He needs to have someone balancing him out and all that kind of stuff.
I mean, I don't think he works in a TV show where you generally would think, hey, unless you're just doing like case of the week stuff, it doesn't really, to me, make sense to have him go on a journey when you know that realistically he is one of the characters that's like, no, what I'm doing is right. I am doing what needs to be done versus other people who struggle with it and question their own motivations. So to me, a movie works because it's like a 2-hour story, beginning, middle, end. A one-shot works because like this is the story we're telling right now, and it actually works better that we're not trying to connect it to again. I'm acknowledging that people's frustrations are that we're sandwiching this in between appearances and other things, but you just have to accept they were just doing a one-shot.
Yeah. It's just like comics continuity back in the day. Say you're reading an X-Men comic and Spider-Man shows up, but in Spider-Man's book, he's like on the other side of the world. Your just brain goes, okay, well, this is a different month. This isn't happening at the same time, and move on. You know?
Yeah, I know the showrunner did say that it was happening right after.
Yeah,
and I'm just like, all right, you guys need to stop.
Is that what the showrunner said?
Yeah,
That's wild.
I shouldn't say the showrunner because this was written by the director and
Bernthal.
Yes, John
Bernthal did a lot of writing.
But the other showrunner, like the Punisher showrunner I don't know why he was speaking on it, but he was like, this is when it takes place. So maybe they're thinking of doing a show. I don't know.
I would think that because it's gotten a lot of positive feedback. There's some naysayers and stuff like that, but for the most part, a lot of people have responded to it positively. Barring the sound and then the confusion about the man on box thing. Everything else has been generally positive. I think there's a good chance that they could probably end up getting to do a movie just on the basis that they're showing that the audience is there, and it wouldn't cost them half as much as it does for their other Marvel films.
I think that's the appeal from the business side of things, is that the budget for this is extremely low, and that really is appealing, I think, because when you look at everything that Marvel's doing on film, it's like how many millions of dollars, and the returns are decreasing, like as time goes on. So to have something as a lower price point to end up being something like that could really slot in well from a business side of things. That's why I could see this potentially becoming like a feature film length, but at the same time it's just like, what is the story that they're trying to tell? Because like Daniel says, he's dead set in what he wants to do. He's convinced he's right. There's no changing that, and that's not the point of the character. So to me, I'm like, that's why I bring up John Wick, because I'm just like, it's John Wick level fun. To me, anyways.
Yeah. I mean, I can't disagree with that.
Never been a big fan of the John Wick films, but that's I felt
mean,
like
it's-
one. I felt like one was enough.
Uh, we, I mean, I guess I just wasn't going to disagree that you found it to be that level of fun.
Right.
Yeah. Okay, we can get started now on breaking this special presentation down. It starts with Frank working out. I didn't realize he had barbed wire on the pull-up thing. I was just like, oh, why is his hands
Barbed wire on
bleeding?
the pull-up thing?
Yeah, he had
Yeah.
barbed wire on the pull-up
That's
thing, so it's like his
wild.
hands are digging into the
I was just like, oh, like he works out really hard, but it's because he has barbed wire on the pull-up bar.
Yeah.
And he's crossed out, I'm assuming, the Nucci family.
Yeah, so basically we see his death wall with all the targets on it all crossed off. They all have red crosses through them. The song "Mother" by Danzig is playing. Some of the lyrics from that are: "Tell your children not to walk my way. Tell your children not to hear my words. What they mean, what they say. Mother, mother, can you keep them in the dark for life? Can you hide them from the waiting world?" And I feel like not only is that talking about that Frank lives in a dark world, it's almost foreshadowing kind of to the life that Dre has with his daughter, always telling her, I'm just playing. I'm trying to hide the fact that they are living in a hellscape from his own daughter. That's what I got from the song.
I couldn't hear the lyrics, but this is a good thing. You're on here. I know you always come with the goods when it comes to the music stuff. Yeah, I like that interpretation of that use of the song. Oh yeah, he tears all the pictures down. So I guess this is him basically being like, oh, now I'm done.
Yeah, him saying, now I'm done. Let me take some pills and drink some whiskey.
Yeah. Okay, so we move on from that to the unhoused person. He's an old vet. I think that's actually his name in IMDb. And I really wish I had mixed feelings about this.
That scene killed me.
I think so. What ends up happening is he gets beat up. They take his hat and they kill his dog. And I was not excited about killing the dog. I didn't know they were going to do that at first. I was excited, like, oh, like Punisher's going to have to get rid of some like racist people. But no, it just kind of turned into how dare they kill an animal, like kill a dog, which I understand is upsetting, but it really my feeling when I saw it was like, oh, at least they're focusing on how this has affected a human being, like he's really upset about it. But I just keep seeing people being like, oh, the poor dog, I can't believe it. And yeah, it's upsetting that they killed the dog, but then if that was their intention, I don't know if it was, it did seem to tie into a bunch of other issues I had with it, which was like, what's the like wildest thing we can do right away without ever building up to it or even grounding it in anything? Like everything feels so ridiculous, and I see people going, well, because it's in his head, and I'm like, all right, but there's nothing there to help guide me through that. Like we just did the Invincible finale where there's very clear markers of like what's in his head, what's not, when are we dealing with reality, when are we not. So then yeah, it was another issue I had with how this story was told, because I do believe on paper this is a good idea, but the actual execution of it was just like, so you're just going to do whatever, and then
it's
everything's turned to 11. There's no real sitting with anything or grounding it in some sort of reality.
Well, yeah, when it gets to anything that happens out on the street, it is drawn out to the most grandiose version of it, to the point where it's almost satire, in my opinion. Yep. And the thing also is that they should know, if you're going to kill a dog in a TV or film now, people are going to react thinking just about the dog. There are so many people that says, I turned it off right after the dog got hit. And it's like, well, that's not going to help you. The idea, if your idea is to show how bad things are going to get, try to pick something that'll keep someone within the story.
Yes.
Yeah, I think, I'm glad you said that you said it better than I could have. Because, I just saw this. Like, hundreds were killed or hurt during Frank's alternative therapy, but I only feel bad for the man's dog. I'm reading off of Threads, but like, that was just a sentiment I kept seeing, and as you said, some people turn it off, and I was like, as you said, that's going to have that effect as people care less and less about the humans living in this reality. So maybe don't just jump to that right away. And I thought it was a bummer because I did think that like, oh, that's what we're doing, the least interesting thing, and then at least they held on his face, and you were like, oh, well, this really destroyed this person. That's all he had. But no one actually, on the whole, is thinking about that or caring about that.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, that was just my another thing that kind of made me like, I'm not that into this. But yeah, then we go back. Frank is alone in his apartment.
Well, first before that, after they steal the old vet's hat, the Marine hat, and kill the dog, they then go down the street and they almost start to try something with Dre. They introduce Andre Royo and his daughter at this point.
Another Wire alum.
Another Wire alum, yeah. And, it's the first moment where he's trying to tell his daughter, it's okay, they were just playing kind of thing. So it starts a setup thing that he's always trying to protect the world, trying to protect his daughter from the world that surrounds them.
Mm-hmm.
I am glad you're here. I just felt like they didn't use him enough, but you're doing a great job of keeping him top of mind. I also could not hear. Like, I felt like all of his dialogue was like it was happening off screen, even though when he was on screen. And I know that was a mixing issue, but I was just very frustrated.
That was definitely a mixing issue because he's the one character aside from Frank that has like a story arc in this.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
And yet, if they did proper sound mixing, people would get that. So.
Because I could not, for the life of me, as I've already said, I can't really do the rewind on Disney Plus. So like, if it doesn't work the first time I rewind, I have to just move on. And I was just like, I can't hear this guy. I don't know what's going on. So yes, thank you for that.
No problem.
The only way I caught it because I turned on subtitles. I was like,
I was going to, and then people were like, they're not even put it on the first night when I was watching. People were saying they're not even doing subtitles properly. Like, what they're writing isn't what they're saying.
Oh, God.
And so I was like, all right, I'm not even going to bother with that then. I'm just going to have to suffer through this. And if I'm being honest, just rely on you two, because I feel like you two would definitely have the answers that I seek.
That's it. We're all bringing pieces to the table. Yeah.
I'm going to read what I wrote, and you guys will actually have things to say that are important. This is where Frank is alone in his apartment, right?
Yeah. Yeah, but he's never alone, really.
Right, no. You can't be alone when he's got what he's got going on in his head.
Yep.
What is he saying? I can't, like, is he saying like a...
He's starting off, I believe he's saying the U.S. Marine...
The Marines...
U.S. Marine Code,
Credo,
okay, yeah.
Yeah, the Credo.
And then that's when we start to see his friend, and the guy from the Punisher show.
Yeah, Curtis.
Curtis Hoyle.
The Curtis Hoyle, who was in the Netflix Punisher series as a retired Marine who runs a group meeting to help
like
PTSD.
Falcon at the beginning of Winter Soldier.
Exactly, to help help vets with PTSD.
Support group.
Support group. Thank you. That's the word I was looking for. Support group. Yeah.
So they start off kind of mocking him, and is he saying you're better than me or can you bury me? Again, these are not jokes. I cannot tell what he's saying. Because they're like
exactly
digging at him, and he's kind of like, I think the idea that in his mind is he's like, these were the good guys. Like, I'm shit.
Yeah,
So
that's why he
he's saying,
takes his knife.
You're better than me. You're better than me.
Yeah, he takes his knife and he cuts out the U.S. Marine Corps logo that's tattooed on his chest.
Did he really do that, or was that just like a thing?
No, he
did that to himself.
Yeah.
The things he does to himself are real.
Okay.
It's everything around him that's a hallucination.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because in his mind, those are the heroes that died. He's a piece of shit that keeps going. Is what I got from it. So.
No, I think you're right. I just it's a hard sell after seeing him in Born Again and knowing that he's going to be having a playful time with Spider-Man the next time I see him.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. Like I'm saying that only to say I understand the frustration, but also it is a weird choice. I just have to go with it. It's just
And again,
weird...
like you're actually, if you look at it, that's kind of what the Marvel kind of continuity is now. If you look at it, the Daredevil that we saw in She-Hulk is not the Daredevil we saw in Born Again. So.
No, it's not.
And Nick Fury certainly was not the same from Secret Invasion to the Marvels.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I think everybody involved thought that Marvels was going to come first.
Yes.
But it's very obvious from all the performances. Yeah.
Very much so. But yeah, I guess what I'm getting at is there's I could see Matt being like, I'm going to get my fuck on to get over some issues, but also that's pre his best friend getting killed.
Yeah.
This is just like, we've seen you do some healing. But you know what? Yeah.
The healing process can be a 2 steps forward, 10 steps back.
Yeah,
kind of situation. Yeah. And, then of course, Curtis, after all of that, Curtis has continued there as hallucination, being the voice of help, saying, I'm here if you need me, sort of thing. And Frank's
he does say, I think I do need help.
I think I need some help. Then he takes a beat after he says it a couple times and then goes, I'm okay. So Frank's kind of lying to himself.
Oh, absolutely.
Because to try to get through this pain.
Is there, I feel like there's a part where he like locks up.
Yes.
Is that after he goes to Dre's store? Or
he takes all the guns, he locks them up in a thing, and he sticks them behind the USMC flag. Yeah.
And then later on, he's going to leave that at the gravesite. But before that, we see Dre's kid, Charlie, watching the news, and they're like, yeah, man, Punisher killed the Nucci family. That's wild. Things are getting wild out here.
Yeah, the idea that the Nucci's kept the peace in that neighborhood.
I did not get that at all.
That's what they're saying. They're saying there's one point where somebody says,
no,
at least
I know
the
they
Nucci's,
said it.
Yeah.
I didn't understand why that would be the case.
The idea is that the criminal element, for some reason, here's the thing. It's supposed to be that the criminal element is now out of control and there's a power vacuum. But instead of making it criminals, they decided to make it psychopaths.
Yes. That's what I mean.
Psychopaths would be psychopaths regardless, unless I guess these psychopaths were afraid that if they did this shit when the Nucci's were around, they would get shot.
This is the thing.
That's the only thing I can think of.
The person that's going to burn a cop car isn't worried about like, oh yeah, the Nucci said I gotta like leave this part of town alone.
Yeah.
Especially in a world where there are other people that will beat their ass as well. Like, like it's not just the Punisher or the Nucci's that are doing it. It's like you still live in the world with and I know they wouldn't kill them, but they did live in a world with White Tiger, the Swordsman, like Daredevil. These are still people that could come fuck you up.
Well, see, the other thing is that they created a borough here.
Little Sicily.
This is Little Sicily. It doesn't exist. That's more of a like other like DC creates places and like that. Marvel usually uses the actual
your world outside
locations.
Your window,
yes,
right?
exactly.
Yeah.
And then where they shot this in real life was in Richmond Hill and Jamaica, New York.
Okay.
And I think they shot some of Luke Cage season 2 in Jamaica, maybe season 1, Jamaica, New York. I can't remember which season had the Jamaican gangster.
Oh, Bushmaster's second season.
Second season, yes. Yeah. So with Bushmaster, they shot in those same locations. Looks totally freaking different.
Yep. I was gonna say Luke Cage, but I was like, maybe he was off doing fucking Mr. Charles stuff. But it didn't make sense to me that was the straw that broke the camel's back, considering what we've just established, which is these people. It's not like everyone's getting knocked over by other crime organizations. It's people doing wild shit that they would have done anyway.
Yeah, it is. Like I said it in my review on Geek Hard that somebody watched Death Wish and decided we should have this now because it's like the level of violence and rioting that's just on the street on the daily basis in this is something you would see from a 70s film.
Yeah,
And-
it's absurd.
And people that are afraid of like places where it's not just white people. That
Right.
it's another thing where I was like, why are they doing this? This is not a good look for. I don't know. It just felt very right leaning,
Mhm.
I can see that. I can see that.
and it wasn't something that they were actually going to deal with through Frank's story. It
Yeah.
was just the setting for him to be able to kill a bunch of people.
Yeah.
I mean,
So
Pretty
yeah,
much.
it was not. I didn't jive with that either.
And then the
Yeah.
news program is highlighted by a crazy person coming into Dre's
yes.
and starting to cause shit.
Right, and then Dre's wife is kind of like, "Hey, come on, you gotta settle down." And like you said, Dre is trying to. He gets mad, but then he's like, "Oh, Dad was just kidding. Dad was just kidding." Like you said, I did hear that part where he was trying to stick up for his family, but also trying to keep his daughter, I guess, in good spirits and not seeing him even because he didn't even do anything wild. He just
No, he just told him off and then went, Dad's just playing. Like, he doesn't
Yeah.
even get that loud. He's like,
Yeah.
hey, you got to knock it off, you know?
like acting like any shop owner would, really.
Mhm.
Yeah.
But yeah, that I saw was like, okay, he's trying to create a world for his daughter.
Yeah.
That's nice. And Frank comes in, and I wish they did more with this, even if they were sticking to Frank's not going to talk to anyone. I liked that Charlie looked at him like, oh, he'll help, and and waved at him, and interacted with in a way that made me feel like, okay, like she understands what he needs in this moment and what she wants out of this as well. There was a lot going on without words, and I wish they kind of kept that going because I felt it also missed him being tethered to someone in the real world.
Mm.
And I can't. Is it Welcome Back, Mr. Kaza? I can't remember what's his face? Nando V Movies was talking about a comic book that kind
Welcome back, Frank.
Welcome Back, Frank. There we go. That he does have a form of family.
Yeah,
found family.
actually, did you ever see the 2004 Thomas Jane
Yes.
Punisher film?
Oh yeah.
Okay, so it
the
was
the
like that,
characters of Joan the Mouse, Spacker Dave, and Mr. Bumpo are all in that film. They're all taken from the Welcome Back Frank storyline. They all lived in the same building as him.
yeah.
Yeah.
So I guess they did it already, so they weren't going
Yeah,
to
that's why they couldn't use those characters. Yeah.
Mhm.
But I mean, they had Charlie and Dre right there, which I feel like or that kid that kind of lived across the hall from him.
Yeah, they had definitely
they had
people
things
there.
so that could
Yes.
keep him. Anyway, so he walks out of there, but has that interaction with her, and I like that he's a little taken aback by being seen by someone who's, I guess in his eyes, innocent, and she's not looking through him or afraid of him.
Right.
She can see him. I liked that moment and wish we could keep building up moments like that again,
Yeah.
even if it wasn't like his kid sidekick.
Now the following scene plays off of that. That little moment is what spurs when he goes to the gravesite to think so much about his own daughter.
Mhm.
I'll say sure. Sure. Why not? I thought he was just gonna do it because he was there, but yeah, I think I can't argue against that. That is what happens. So he's there. He's speaking to his family. He's remembering them.
And
They
that's
start
actually
dying in
apparently
remembrance.
that's actually John Bernthal's daughter.
That's
It is
yeah.
Brenthal's daughter.
Because I was like, why is she getting way more play than his son? But if that's your
Yeah,
daughter, of
nobody gives a
course.
crap about the son apparently.
I
Yeah.
feel like he got like 2 scenes, and then it is the daughter that pulls him out of it. But I
I will
guess,
say before he gets to the grave, because you see him walking, the black car
right,
drives
Manucci
past him
is
twice.
watching
Yeah.
him. Yes,
Yeah.
I only caught that the second time I was watching, that he is followed by that car for a bit.
Mhm.
They don't just show up. But yes, he's remembering his family. He says, I'm not trying to be funny. I can't hear what he's saying, but I feel like the important part is when he gets to the like, you know what, I'm sorry, I failed, and he's gonna kill himself.
Yeah, the idea is that he feels like he's done all he can do, and he's going to.
That was his mission, revenge, and then he got it. But yeah.
But it's his daughter that pulls him out, and maybe you're right that he had that interaction with a girl earlier, and so it would be his daughter that's at the forefront of his mind that saves him.
Yeah.
So he doesn't do it, which is good.
What he does really repeatedly say, I forgot to say, one of the things he does say a lot in that scene is, "I'm fucking tired."
Yeah.
I'm fucking tired.
Matt knows he was tired in his finale too.
Yeah. That's the thing. If you're a street level hero, you're tired, man.
Yeah.
Like, that's just. But they did use flashbacks in that scene from the Punisher series.
Mm-hmm.
They did.
The shots of the carousel, the shots of his wife, all of those were taken from the Netflix Punisher series.
And so before he puts the gun to his head, he puts the key there because it's like the Punisher is done. I locked him up, and now I'm killing Frank Castle. But he doesn't. That's good. Then he walks back, and this is where Curtis comes back, and he's kind of like, "Whoa, what are you like? So what's your purpose now? What are you gonna do?" And I will leave it to you two because you already know. I don't know what he said.
Curtis basically says that he's saying to him, he goes, because heaven, there might be a place for me in heaven, but what about you? You've done all this shit.
Mm-hmm.
You're nothing. What are you gonna do? And Frank just keeps walking.
Okay,
Yep.
He doesn't say anything back.
He doesn't say anything. He's just PTSD.
There's only a couple of times where he looks Curtis in the eyes, and to me, it's played as him going, is he here? Is he not? Like he's trying to discern if this is really Curtis here this time.
Mm-hmm.
So,
right. Okay.
And then, of course, he follows that up by seeing himself.
How do we feel about that?
To me, one of the more interesting kind of things of it on the basis that he thinks that he's done. That's his psyche telling him you're never going to be done.
Mm-hmm.
And the fact that the full decked out Punisher version of himself is walking in the opposite direction, walking to where the chaos has happened and where the chaos will happen, is that Punisher is in the fight. And he's not in the fight yet.
Yep.
There we go. That's good. I didn't have that. I was just like, what? All right.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Is like he's imagining what life would be if he actually cared about something, but he hasn't gotten there yet, but he can still picture it. But yeah, I like Andrew's depiction of that much better.
So he walks past himself, and that's where I almost called her Maud Dukes. Maud Nucci is in front of his building.
Yeah. Played by Judith Light.
Yeah, I was like, boss. Now we know who the boss is. It's definitely
she's definitely the boss.
She's the boss.
There was never, we've all seen Community.
Yes.
There was never any doubt. I also just like Judith Light, mostly because of Who's the Boss, but every time I see her after that, I'm like, all right, cool, man.
She was in The Menu, wasn't she?
Yes, she was.
Yeah, she was great in The Menu.
Yeah. So yeah, she's kind of like, oh yeah, this is pretty weird, I'm an old lady, I know your name, I know where you live, can I tell you a story?
She's very cutesy. Cutesy with her introduction.
I was like, oh, this is interesting, but then when she had, I was kind of like, you should have just killed him. Anyway, so she tells the story of how he killed her husband and her sons. I know that I had this opinion before I saw the Nandovine movies video, but my immediate reaction to the last son, the one she clearly likes the most, was he is a kid. Couldn't you get someone who looked older if you were trying to do he's a pedophile? Like, I could not for the life of me be like, that's supposed to be like.
But you think there aren't 18-year-old pedophiles? There's tons of them.
There's tons of them.
All right, you guys. You understand what I'm saying. Let's not be obtuse. You know what I'm saying, is that he looks like a kid, and then like he was into kids. So I'm like, so are we trying to like put in people's minds that he's doing it to like little baby kids? If you went older, there would be a better way of depicting that you don't have to think about babies being assaulted.
Okay, but an 18-year-old touching a 13-year-old is pretty sick.
Yeah, that's.
I
that's
understand that, guys. I think you understand what I'm saying here. He looked very young. He looked like he would be the peers of the people he was assaulting, which would be treated differently.
Yes, but then it's also hard to do the Manucci side of things. Like, that's my baby. I'm like, yeah, he's still technically a baby, but he's legally an adult and he's disgusting. So how are you being like, that's my baby and all that?
Maybe they
Manucci,
should have
you
had the guy grow a mustache, and then you probably wouldn't have had this problem.
Yeah,
If he had some
that would've
facial
helped.
hair, you
Yeah.
probably would have been like, "Oh, he's like 21, he's fine."
Yeah, I just think that they're like, especially in the Epstein Files era, like we don't need to like make it seem too young for these shows, especially since it's not something they're actually willing to engage with. It was another thing just to throw that out there to be like edgy, like killing a dog, and not really reckoning with it.
Like when I said the whole cutesy thing is, the fact that she's sitting there selling her family like they're great.
Yep.
That I know the whole idea is that it's supposed to be a contradiction in terms, and that the idea of the mother's love and the idea of like she really knows that they're crap, but she wants to get revenge, all that kind of shit. To me, it was like, can we speed this up?
Yeah, I think because she's like, I know he didn't do anything, but the other ones, it was kind of like, yeah, what a shit person. I can't believe it didn't happen sooner. And then she kind of got to this one where I'm like, you got to spend more time on this then. Because she has such a different tone with him than everyone else.
Right,
like that's her kid. Like she loves him. She genuinely feels put out by him dying versus the other ones. But yeah, it doesn't matter. She's mad. She spits on him. I was like, geez.
Yeah, 6:47 is when Punisher killed her son.
So
6:47 is now the time. Yeah.
She's like, I'm in an hour, which will be 6:47. I'm making this location free information for everyone, and they're all gonna come for you.
Yeah. See, you're the mob. You're the fucking mafia. You don't go, I'm going to contact every killer in Psycho and make this open season. And the words are seeking the killers and yahoos on this building to kill you and everyone else. It's like, why everyone else? Like, that is not, if you're aiming for Frank Castle, unless you have a bomb, you should be sending them all after Frank Castle.
Yep.
That is also.
It was just
a hurdle
an excuse.
I had to get over because like it would be like someone's coming for Frank, but then they get shot. I'm like, oh, is he getting help? No, this is just the lawless world we live in, where it's not much different than before she let his address.
Exactly, like that's the thing. It's like all the crazies are attacking. Like when I talked about it with Green on Geek Art, he was like, oh, the ones that went in the building are the assault team. I'm like, including the ones that decided to stop and rape a woman for no reason at all and things like that. Like that's like if you send somebody to do a job, if you contract someone to do a job and they stop to do something else, they're not doing the job.
They're not doing the job.
Yeah.
But also, Manucci, what are you doing giving him any kind of warning? Just send them after him.
It's because she wanted to say, I'm the one who's doing the punishing now.
Yeah. I think that
it's a flawed plan from start to end. It's just flawed.
The problem is he doesn't seem to have any connection to her. Like, we know what the connection is, but he's not talking to anyone, so it's not like he's like,
he's not saying like, oh, I should have actually taken her out as well. And all
he's just like, wait, what? Oh, yeah. I guess I got an hour. I guess I should probably think about Karen Page then.
Now, when she gets in the car, when she says we're going to leave, she says Barry, and Barry is the big black guy that's with her. There is a belief that is an allusion to the character Barracuda from Garth Ennis's Punisher run. Yeah,
I just assumed it was, but who knows?
And so the Nucci family and Barracuda, totally separate characters from each other. Didn't ever have any interaction. So I thought, okay, I guess you're just throwing that in there for fun, I guess. Some people are getting excited. Yeah, exactly. Some people are getting excited. They're getting excited going, are they going to do a Barracuda thing next time? I'm like, no, they're just, this Barry guy's never going to appear again, most likely.
Yeah. Well, it's like when they had, in Far From Home, they used the name of the chameleon and just had him like standing around not doing chameleon things. I think that was like, people will like this. We call them Barry, so
Yeah,
we
we'll
have a
keep
little
it
bit of
safe.
room.
Barry, yeah. There we go.
But yeah, I mean, from this, sorry, we should get into the Karen part. So he's like, okay, great, I got an hour, and then he's back in his apartment, and Karen is there in quotation marks, and they have a conversation, which I feel like everyone knows what I'm going to say. I don't know what they said.
She basically tells him that he's failing, and that he's not doing what he should be doing, and that he's failed his family, like all the negative stuff that he's feeling in himself. He then asks her if she's real. She says that she is. She gives him a hug. And then she tells him there's one last thing he has left to do. Because there's one last kill. There's Manucci, right? The one last kill. Or you could see it as there'll always be one last kill for him. But in this case, her saying the one last thing you have left to do is you got to get the last Nucci that you didn't kill.
Yeah. Come on. There's so many people that were responsible for your family's death. You got to get this one too.
Yeah. There was so many people in the park that day. My God.
So yeah, and then it looks like they're going to embrace each other with a kiss, but then she's like, "What time is it?" Oh, it's 6:47.
Yeah,
it's time.
It's kill time.
It's time for all the lunatics who are not very good assassins to come into the building and just ramble about and shoot things and attack people and not really focus on their target unless he's right in front of them.
Yep. As I said, not much different than what was happening before she put the dogs on him. So yeah, the as you mentioned, the across the hall neighbors, they have it rough. The first group of people go there first, and I'm thinking, all right, go man, go save them. But no, he needs to be lit on fire first. They have to light a literal fire under him and around him on him.
The idea they were going for the various obvious visual of he gets lit on fire, so that is when he ignites and becomes the Punisher again.
So he does, and he does have to stop the guy from raping that kid's mom, and I was just like,
and all the while the song "La Vie en Rose" by Louis Armstrong is playing.
Yeah.
The idea is for contrast of the idea of like such a lovely kind of song with death and destruction. It's something we've seen a million times before. It's not anything impressive.
Yeah, or is it like him finally having a good time?
You could, but he's not at this point.
But that's what I'm saying. Like, I didn't like the song choice, but I'm trying to say something nice. Like maybe
totally. I get that. I just don't think that he has fully become the Punisher again until the very end. Until the moment of like
he does his one last kill.
Yeah. Which.
You're right. It's everything he's doing here is reactionary. It's not what the Punisher would do to punish anyone. The Punisher doesn't go like, "Oh, you tried to kill me, so I'm going to punish you." That's not it.
Yeah, but he does kill these guys very brutally.
Yep.
And as to be expected.
Yeah. The fact that he killed a guy with an axe and then killed another guy with the same axe. That was
makes the guy fall on
Sanjuing the axe between two people. That was impressive. Yeah.
That was impressive.
No, there's some good kills here.
There's some great kills. And then I heard also another person talk about this. They were like, "Oh yeah, I love the fact that they actually count the bullets in this and all that kind of stuff." And I'm just like, well, they didn't pay a lot of attention to the rest of the story writing. It's just like, okay, I'm glad that the bullet count was good for everyone, but
I mean, yeah, that's a good attention to detail. I wouldn't have known. I'm always like in an action movie, they just run out when they need to.
I'm not gonna lie. I don't know how many bullets are in those clips.
I just assume the person who said it knows because I was just like, I don't. You don't know how much he's starting with, but I guess we just got to assume it was a full clip. Yeah. For him to be like, hey, that was the right amount.
But it's also like, hey, it wasn't his guns. It was like he was taking them off other people's. So whether it's just one of those things where I'm like, people are trying very hard to elevate this above what it actually is.
And it's understandable because people like John Bernthal as the Punisher, and they want John Bernthal to make more Punisher. So they're all saying extra nice things so that he'll continue to want to be the Punisher. Correct. And I'm not against that because I want him to continue to be the Punisher as well.
Yes.
But I want to have a bit more clarity.
I want better writing for it. But I do agree that he's probably the best Punisher that we've seen, and I do want him to continue.
He's my
going.
favorite of the 4 we've had.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. I feel like that's the right one. He did it.
Yeah.
There's no. I don't think
He's the
anyone's
only one who
close.
continues to get to play the Punisher.
Yes.
Those other guys did not.
Yeah, they're all one-offs.
And I don't think anyone who likes the character has been like, oh, that one was off. I think people, by and large, like his outings as the Punisher.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it was very clear that they were like, we need to put a focus on the kills and the action, and the CGI face notwithstanding, they did a good job with that.
Yep.
Yeah.
And they gave him moments to be very dramatic, so I do think it was, it makes sense he co-wrote this, that it was a great showcase for Jon Bernthal.
Yep.
As the Punisher.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think that's probably why there's so many nice things being said. It feels like it's giving people what they want out of Jon Bernthal's Punisher.
Yes.
Even if it doesn't fully make sense, the ingredients are there. Okay. Yes. He does the fight. There's a whole bunch
fight through he goes outside of the building onto the hallways, shoots some guys, goes back in, goes into the inner hallways, ends up on the roof, drops off the roof, and that's when he sees Manucci.
Yep.
And
he's got a choice to make.
Yeah, should I go through some scaffolding or should I stay up here?
Yeah.
Yes, I know that it is written in a way where you're like, he made the right choice to go save the people. But I was like, I guess he was out of guns at that point.
Yeah, he was. He
Can
didn't
you
have
throw something at her?
He didn't have any weapons at this point. He had nothing, and so her riding away on her little motorized wheelchair, getting into the car, she had all the time in the world because chaos was descending on the coffee shop. And it's at this point that the song "I Will Be Heard by Hatebreed" kicks in. Some lyrics from that is, I've got to take my life back. One chance to make it right. I've got to have my voice be heard and bring meaning to this life. Because I've trusted for nothing. I've been led astray. I've been tried and tested, but I won't accept defeat. Now I've done things I regret, and it's time to reverse the rules. I just want to make good on all the promises I've made. And so he goes to then be a quote-unquote hero and save the life of Dre and his family.
Yeah, bullseye type shit. Got it.
Bullseye in the Daredevil show only type shit. But yes.
Yeah, he saves Dre and his family. And he does not hold back on the violence when he does that.
No, he does not.
Oh, well, especially when the tatted psycho comes in. When you think it's all done, there's the pause. And then the tatted psycho comes running in.
And stab up your muscles.
Oh, my God. The amount of knife stabs in that scene, including the last one through the chin into the, just underneath the nose and mouth. That's,
that was prison shiv, for sure.
Yeah.
It was wild.
He got that guy good.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, and he did it while still having a knife stuck in his shoulder blade, right?
He pulls that out after. I forgot when he pulled it out. Yeah, what? Does he just leave, or does he doesn't say anything to the family, right?
What happens is he's standing there, the kid hugs him.
She hugs him, yeah.
And then the family is kind of like, thank you, although the mom is like freaking scared of him, understandably.
Yeah, rightfully shaken up.
Dre, who's gotten back into the thing, is thankful and everything. But the daughter goes, wait, because he's just about to leave, runs and gets a patch of a rose and hands it to Frank as a kind of like a thank you kind of thing. And he stares at it, he looks at it, and then he walks out.
Yeah, that's good.
And at this point, as he walks,
graves, right?
As he's walking out, that's when now, because just randomly the riot has stopped.
Yep.
Paramedics and police and fire are pulling into the area.
I didn't even catch that. That's good. Well, I'm glad that people get a breather.
Yeah. And then he goes back to the cemetery. Yeah.
Puts the rose on his daughter's grave.
Yep.
Picks up the key.
Takes the key back.
Yeah, and then he's
maybe I'm gonna keep going. That's what he says. And then he quotes off one batch, two batch.
Yes, that's how that scene ends. Is he's professing his love for his baby girl, and
I love my
one batch,
baby
two
girl
batch.
to the end of time.
Yeah.
Then we get the most unrealistic thing in the entire thing. This town, this neighborhood has been in massive riots, but we get these two nice middle-aged people who seem to be walking down happily in an area that they could easily get their asses kicked in.
Yep.
Acting like, oh, I can't wait to see my daughter. Oh, you're really excited. Yeah, I'm really excited. It's like, why did you guys choose to go down that street? You know?
No idea.
No clue.
And they're just about to get hit by the ding dong ditch guy when Punisher takes him down.
Ding dong ditch. Amazing.
Well, he does yell
He says
ding
ding
dong.
dong with
Yeah.
it right away.
Yeah. So yeah.
Real doorman fan there.
Yeah, and so Punisher takes him down, and that's when we get resolution for the vet.
Because he was like, I don't know what he's saying, but it's basically like that's not your hat. So he gives the hat back.
Yeah.
And
'cause
that's
he
when the
knows
guy's
he's
like,
not
hey,
there.
that's not the only thing he took from me.
Yeah, and so then Punisher knifes and shoots the guy, and he's back to being the Punisher again until the next time he feels like he has a crisis of conscience.
Yes.
Yep.
Well, we did it. We got to the end. It's I feel like it's good that we all ran the gamut of like reactions to this. We're not all on the same page, but that's good. It feels like multiple people can feel seen and heard.
And again,
Three of us.
Daniel, I do not envy you. You practically heard nothing, so you even had a worst experience.
It was
than
a
other
real
people.
like, what are the visuals, Tommy? And then I missed the visuals as well as I was taking notes. So it really,
Yeah, the taking notes part. It's always hard to take notes because we want to make sure we get everything,
Yeah.
but we don't want to make sure we don't miss anything.
And then I find myself watching and be like, okay, all right, and then I'm like, I'll remember this, and then I don't remember it. So yeah, there's always that struggle when I'm taking notes. But yeah, this sound was truly off-putting.
It was not
for me.
finished. It was not finished. VFX plus sound. It was just.
But that's the thing. They were finished for like speaking to the cynicism of Disney of like, no one's gonna watch this on their TV. Just so they only mixed it so it sound good if you were listening through headphones on a mobile device or something, or a
ridiculous.
laptop.
Yeah.
So they were just like, just give it to them. And I'm like, you guys could have. Because I rewatched it and the sound was a bit better, but it still was not great.
It was still pretty low the second time I watched it, but yeah. Wasn't as bad as the first time, but still not great.
Well, I think it's time to talk about something positive. I feel like you might have some reading suggestions for us. You did allude to one earlier.
I do, yeah. I have, as I showed it earlier. This is Welcome Back, Frank, which recently got re-released, a Marvel Premier Collection edition with an intro by John Bernthal. It is a 12-issue miniseries that we actually did an episode of Back Issue Bloodbath, which is available on it. What happened was in the late 90s, due to overexposure, Punisher was repackaged. That didn't work. And so they hired Garth Ennis and Steve Dillon, who had just come off Preacher, to write a new Punisher series. And so Garth Ennis was like, let's take it back to basics. No microchip, no van, no special weapons. He's a dude with some guns, and he's killing people, he's killing criminals, and his main goal is to take out the Nucci family. And so the first few issues are him taking out most of the Nucci family, and the only one left is Ma Nucci. But the Ma Nucci in this, very different from the Judith Light Ma Nucci, is that this woman is like, there was no mob boss. She was the mob boss. She had no husband. And it's irreverent, it's action-packed. There's parts of it that are hilarious. It's very much of its time, though, as well. Definitely worth checking out. So that's available, yeah. So that's Welcome Back, Frank. It was a 12-issue miniseries, originally out by Marvel Knights, but is available in trade. Then from Marvel Max, back when the early to mid-2000s, there was a mature readers line at Marvel called Max, and the Punisher was one of the mainstays of that. And Garth Ennis jumped over there, and with Dougie Braithwaite did a couple of different series. The one that I want to talk about is the third volume of that series, Mother Russia.
It looks
Which-
really cool.
Yeah, it's very cool. Basically, Nick Fury contacts him and says, "Yeah, I need you to go to Russia to retrieve this little girl that has a virus inside her. Like a basically a they these Russian scientists made a chemical weapon inside of a girl, and
Okay.
there's only a certain window of time before her body, because her body is the antidote as well. And so he goes to retrieve the girl, and this is the first time he's talked and seen a little girl like up close, like he's had to interact with since his own daughter.
Mm.
So there's a lot of like
No, that's how
Frank
you write
dealing
a
with
one-shot
Frank.
Frank story.
There you go. Yeah. Frank dealing with Frank and dealing with his past, but then also trying to save this little girl from not only the Russians, but also the CIA.
Right.
So, and then my final pick is a 16-issue series that came out in 2011, just called The Punisher, by Greg Rucka and Marco Cicchetto. And in that, Greg Rucka took a different take on it and decided to explore the Punisher as in Punisher's more of a force of nature, in the sense that nobody else can endure what Frank Castle endured. And so when other people try to become the voice of the thing of vengeance, they can't handle the situation. There's a grief-stricken wife who's a ex-Marine her husband is killed on their wedding day, and she ends up tracking down the Punisher to help her find revenge, and the two kind of become a team. But in the story, we're seeing things from Rachel Cole Alves' position, and seeing as how it's a hard life to live the life that Frank Castle lives.
Mm-hmm.
And so, yeah, so it's a really interesting look at the psyche of Frank Castle from an outside perspective.
I mean, as always, your suggestions are very intriguing. I will definitely look into them.
Thank you.
I know, as you set up top and on other episodes, he's your second favorite, so I feel like these suggestions will go a long way in me finding my way to liking the character a bit more.
Yeah, I think the key to liking the character is to not to really there's so many people out there that try to see him as a hero. And it's like he's not a hero. The idea is to like the character without agreeing with the character.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. And I know a lot of people can't do that. They feel like they have to be like, well, no, he's still good because I can see part of myself in this aspect without just acknowledging that it is interesting in a fictional setting to explore people who don't do the right thing.
Right, exactly.
And have be like, yeah, like I like that character because it is interesting to follow them on their journey. It doesn't mean you agree with them or think that you should be like that.
Right, exactly. It's the same reason why I enjoy film noir.
Mm-hmm.
All of those characters are reprehensible people, even the quote unquote good guys, you know? So it's interesting to watch a character and see what they do without agreeing with what they're doing.
Yeah. I would agree with that.
Yep.
I think we have that on Invincible with Omni-Man, where I'm just like, I don't know, I kind of like this guy. Not in a, yeah, he's cool. I look up to him, but
I like watching this guy.
I'm liking this develop with him.
Yeah.
It's like the Rorschach thing. It's like, a lot of characters that I'm just like, yeah, I would hate. It's the same reason why I like Cats online only and not in real life. I'm just like, yeah, I can't get behind but it is entertaining as hell to watch.
Oh no, totally. The idea is that there are people out there that watch it and look at that and go, oh, I identify with this character. It's like, oh, really? I don't know if you do.
You shouldn't.
There's so many people, unfortunately, there's so many people in the realm of police, the army, firemen that all say they have this affinity to the Punisher. I'm really, do you understand the Punisher? Do you understand what you're talking?
They clearly don't, though, because the Punisher would go after them in real life.
To the point that the Punisher has told police officers off in the comics, basically saying, your job is not my job.
Yes.
You guys should. And then, of course, that led to Daredevil Born Again Season 1, also him giving that speech as well. So,
yeah, I think he's a hard character to nail down in film, as we've seen, but I will agree that it seems like they know how to do the John Bernthal version, even if it's not for me. I can appreciate that they are taking what people like about it and able to put that on screen.
Mm.
Having said that, let's rate this special presentation.
Oh God, this is gonna be the hardest ever because I always we know that I'm not huge on the rating thing, but especially with this one.
Yeah,
You can go last for sure.
Okay.
But, I just which one of us do you want to go first, Ben?
I'll go first if you want.
Sure.
I'm giving this a 5.5.
And you liked it? Jeez.
But that's my thing. That's my thing. I enjoyed it, but that doesn't mean I think it's amazing. I'm just like, the kills are good, all this kind of stuff is like, he's got passion for everything. But at the same time, to everything we just said, I'm like, I don't agree with this character. I don't want to know that he actually inspires people that are supposed to be doing not the Punisher's job.
But then again, you can't judge the band on the fans. I've always said that,
Yeah,
I wholeheartely agree with that.
Yeah.
You're entirely right, but it's just one of those things where I'm like, the sound mixing, the VFX, all this kind of stuff, like, they clearly put a lot of attention to it for like the bullet counts and all that kind of stuff. But the idea of like, this wasn't as compelling as you would have liked, and the only reason I enjoyed it, I'm like, is because it was 45 minutes long. Or like less than an hour. Like, if this was a full season, it would have been under a 5 for me. I don't think this is great. It was enjoyable to watch and just be like, cool, my hands are done. And then it just poses that issue of like, yeah, now you're going to be playing with Spider-Man, and that's going to be all happy-go-lucky. What are we doing here, kind of deal. So it's just confusing.
He is happier now, I hope.
Yes. He's got a purpose. So
he did the 1-batch, 2-batch speech with a smile this time.
Yeah.
That's the first time he's ever done that speech smiling. So.
True. But yeah, for me, it's not great by any means. It's a 5.5.
Fair enough. Is 6 great?
You tell me.
I don't know. You gotta tell me. Anyway, I give it a 4.5. I think that there's the effort is there. It just did not connect with me, and I am excluding the sound mixing aspect of it because I had an opportunity to hear what they were saying. I just chose to be stubborn and watch it on TV. I'm just basing it off of story beats that didn't truly make sense for me, and like I said, the idea that it felt like they were trying to turn everything to 11 in a show where they weren't really going to reckon with it.
Okay, well, taking because I am going to take the sound mixing into consideration because really, you shouldn't make that assumption and just be, they're going to watch it on phones and iPads. It's like,
that's fair.
I don't know about that. So there's that. There is the lack of organization in the antagonist story. So is it a riot? Are they trained killers? Why do they both look the same? And the fact that we have repeated a lot of beats doesn't matter that if it's for the Marvel Universe, like proper this time or not. I feel like we've already covered this stuff in Punisher seasons 1 and 2, which they do allude to in this.
Well, you need to at least feel like those are canon if you're going to show Curtis and Karen in particular.
Exactly. So all of that being said, I still love Frank Castle. I still like John Bernthal, and I still don't 100% know if this rating says whether I liked it or not liked it. I feel like this is separate from that, but I'm going to pull a Victor Lucas again and go 5. Go 5. 5.0.
You needed to be in the middle.
Yes.
We had a really low ceiling.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, thank you very much. I mean, I was hoping you liked it more, but I'm happy that I wasn't alone in seeing the how it didn't fully embrace even what it could have done for Punisher fans.
This was an emotional roller coaster of a week for me. I was trying so hard to make myself like it more. I still don't hate it. I still just don't know how I feel about it, kind of thing.
I think to Ben's point, it's mercifully short, and to our points, they still didn't really use their time effectively.
The performances were good. I just wish there was more substance to and
Mhm.
more clarity to the
Mhm.
story that they were telling.
Yeah, I hoped for those things too. But yeah, I feel like if people are going to be mad at the ratings, just if you liked it, that's good. And you're
Yeah, no,
right.
if you liked it,
everyone's
continue to
right
like
to
it.
like it.
Exactly.
Yeah, we're not yucking anyone's yum.
And if enough of you
do
people
your
out
thing.
there like it, and that means that I get more John Bernthal as Frank Castle, then that's the long run win for me.
Yes. Yeah. If he keeps being invited back to do this, I think that's a win, especially if he gets to. I mean, he can't always just interact with Daredevil, but I'd find those are very strong scenes every time they happen.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
that's good. Andrew, thank you very much for being here. Don't tell people where you are, but where can they find you online?
I'm at the corner of no. You can find me online, geekwardshow.com. Everything that I do is there. You can listen to my radio show Geek Card Friday nights at 7 p.m. Eastern on realityradio101.com, but it's also available as a podcast wherever you download your podcast from. I also have another podcast called Back Issue Bloodbath, which is available every Wednesday. We talk about comic stories and the comics they're in. And as I alluded to earlier, last week we did an episode on the Punisher. Actually, I think it would be about 2 weeks ago. The Punisher, Welcome Back, Frank.
Mhm.
But we also cover a lot of other books as well. We have an interview coming up with independent comic creator Vivi Partridge about
nice.
their graphic novel Vivisect. And we've got tons of other great stuff. We got some Darwin look back at Darwin Cook's New Frontier coming up. A lot of great stuff.
That's
Nice.
awesome. Thank you very much.
And, so that's Back Issue Bloodbath with Andrew Young and Petunia Linnea.
Hopefully people know that, but yeah, there's always the potential for a new listener. But yeah, I'm hoping that people are listening to both of your shows. There's the fun of Geek Hard, and then the in-depth. I think you and Petula bring out the best in each other in terms of bringing out different elements of the stories and the imagery. So it's a worthwhile listen for both shows, for sure.
Thank you very much.
Mhm.
You can find Ben and I at tdfeverything.com/spoiledrotten. You'll find all our coordinates, but you can also follow the show at TDF Spoiled on Instagram, Threads, TikTok, YouTube, Lemonade, and we have an email, spoiledpodcast@gmail.com, and please rate, review, subscribe, share with your friends, follow, do all that great stuff on the podcast platform of your choice. Yeah, I think our next episode will be The Boys. I don't know. Yeah, probably. It's probably. I've lost track of what time it is. But yeah, it's probably going to be The Boys. And then we'll get into other stuff because I feel like people might be looking for Spider-Man Noir
Yeah, they are.
after this episode, but it will not be that. It'll be The Boys. All right. Thank you for listening to me ramble. Bye-bye.
Cheers.
This has been a TDF Everything production, brah.